Hello, my name is Yulia Klein. I'm a program manager in the User Experience Platform team, and today I'm excited to tell you about a new control, Navigation View. Navigation View is the platform's answer to the very common design paradigm of the hamburger menu. So as you can see on my screen, I have a very, very simple app running Navigation View. It is, so by default, the control gives you the hamburger button, or the navigation button as we're going to call it, and a settings item. So this was created, as I mentioned, using really just Navigation View and not much else to it. So we're going to add on. So first of all, one way, since really the purpose of Navigation View is to house navigation items, one simple way of doing so is in code behind. So I have named my Navigation View NavView, and I'm going to give it an item source. And I had already created a list of view items. So now, if I run my app again, it will be populated with a number of items. There we go. So these are coming from my predefined list. Now, I actually prefer working in markup, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So here, I've pre-populated with a couple of items, and these are all of type Navigation View item. And one other thing that I'm going to add is an auto-suggest box. It's very, very common to have a search experience that also lives inside your Navigation View, and we've made it super easy to do that. So give it a name because I'm going to need to reference a number of its parameters later, and make sure that we give it a query icon of find, because we want to see that lovely hourglass. So let's see. So now we have, let me minimize Visual Studio in the background. Now we have a Navigation View. It has a search box. Right now I haven't hooked up any of the events yet, therefore this won't do much, but at least it does the correct placement for you, and a number of items. And as you can see, Navigation View also includes new Fluent aspects to it, such as acrylic, which you're seeing in the pane, and also reveal as I move over the items. The other thing that Navigation View does automatically is it's adaptive. So right now, my window is maximized, and you're seeing Navigation View in expanded mode. And as I resize the window, it's automatically clever enough to say, now that there's less real estate, it moves into compact mode, which then continues to open up as an overlay on top of your content, and also the search box automatically switches between actually showing you just a search icon versus the auto-suggest box. And if I resize my window to make it even smaller, now all I see is just a hamburger, but again, which I can open and bring up the rest of the pane in overlay mode. So as I mentioned, the control is adaptive and Fluent. All right. So the other thing to point out is that there are different types of items. So here you can see we already have some Navigation View items. Let's say that I wanted to categorize these a little bit better. So let's add some headers. I can say that this is a Navigation View item header. And I'm going to give it the content of man-made, and These other ones are navigation view item header, and here, let's call it natural. So as I go back to my app, it didn't continue, doesn't work for that. So let's rerun the app. And now you can see I have some headers, and the headers are not interactive. The items are interactive, but at the moment they're not doing anything. Let's go ahead and fix that. So if I add a selection changed event, that will actually load content. And one more thing that I'm going to do is just add a little bit of visual separation with a navigation view item separator. Let's see what that looks like. So now I have my headers, I have my separator, and as I choose between different items, I can see different pages load up. Great, so a couple more finishing touches. And actually, let me talk about this very briefly. So what I've done is I've added a content frame, and the frame is actually what's loading all of the pages that you're seeing. And I've defined a number of pages. And in my selection changed event, I'm actually navigating to those pages. So let's do one more thing. Navigation view has a header property. So let's say we set the header to welcome when it starts up. And let's give the first item a header of house. Why not? And so now, and actually while I'm talking about headers, in case you're, let's see. So first of all, we're going to get a header above the content. So there it is. We have the pane, we have the header, and this is going to be the rest of the content, which is currently blank, and when I navigate, shows me my lovely house. And the other thing I can do is if I, for example, don't want this header, there's a property on navigation view to hide it. So let's call always show header false. So now it disappears depending on the size of navigation view. So actually, when it's compact, the header has to show due to some technical limitations, but when it's fully expanded, we can in fact get rid of that particular header. So one last finishing touch. In general, we highly recommend letting your acrylic bleed all the way to the top of your app. Depending on what exactly is behind your app, this particular dividing line in the title bar really doesn't look particularly attractive. So there are a couple of quick things we can do to fix that. One of them is in our basically update extend view into title bar to be true. So that'll nicely show up as a full bleed. And then the other thing that this does is loses our app title entirely, which is not so great. So we're actually going to put back the app title with a text block. And that should be, Well, let's give it a name first. Call it app title. And the style should be one of our predefined styles, specifically the caption text block style. And we'll give it a margin of 12 and 8 pixels. And most importantly, we'll actually hook up the app name into our app titles text. So now we're going to have navigation view with full bleed acrylic into the title bar, and we have restored the app title so that you're not losing important information. So in a nutshell, this is navigation view, and there are many more properties to explore, but this is a great way of getting started with creating a hamburger menu in your app in just a couple of easy steps. Thank you.